The late Honorable Hassan Musa Kamara played his part very well in this world until today that he lies here in state. Because he believed in what Shakespeare said, that the world is a stage and all men are merely players. He was aware of that and he played his role very well. But he also believed that this world is just a stage. We are all passing through it. We are all here as visitors and we are going eternally to the next world. And therefore I follow a previous speaker by quoting a poet, Grts, that said, "We shall all pass through this world but once. Therefore, if there be any kindness we can show, any good thing we can do, let us do it now. Let us not defer it or neglect it, for we shall not pass this way again."
The corpse of the late Hassan Musa Kamara was later taken to the King Fahad Mosque for prayers before he being finally laid to rest for the beginning of the journey which everybody shall endure. For Grts News, I am Fatou Jassi.
Time now to take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Grts News. US and European leaders are working on a firm response on Syria. It's been almost a month since the acknowledgement of a major chemical weapons attack near the capital Damascus. UN weapons inspectors have now completed their report on that, and UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is expected to brief the Security Council later. Now in Paris, key meetings are being held between France, US, Russia and Britain to secure Syria's chemical weapons. CNN's Nick Pettenwald takes a closer look at the events.
That set the tone for a suddenly very busy day ahead at the UN. Its chief may have thought he wasn't on camera Friday, but still said this of Monday's vital UN inspectors report on Syria.
I believe that the report will be an overwhelming report that the chemical weapons was used, even though I cannot publicly say at this time.
Ban Ki-moon added Bashar al-Assad, the Syrian president, had committed many crimes against humanity and would face eventually, quote, a process of accountability. It's possible Ban Ki-moon had seen the finished report when he spoke, one official telling me it was likely complete by then. The UN inspectors' report on the 21st of August attacks will be presented to the UN Security Council at 11 a.m. Monday in enough detail for others to perhaps work out who was behind the attacks, though it's not the inspectors' job to do so. Syria has officially now joined the Chemical Weapons Convention, the UN declared Saturday, whose rules mean it must declare all those weapons by mid-November. That's not fast enough for the United States or Russia, who agreed in Geneva that Syria must tell all in a week. And in Syria's first major comments on the deal, its information minister talking to ITV News, it said it wants to wait for a UN resolution to set the timing of its disarmament. So now another round of negotiations begins, perhaps fast, perhaps torturous, to find a wording for a resolution that can back up what was agreed in Geneva between America and Russia. Still on the table for those talks, a diplomat tells me, will the resolution blame Assad and demand a trial for those who ordered the attacks? And will its wording suggest force can be used if Syria violates its terms? Russia won't like any of that. Again, eyes back on this building, weeks ago dismissed as paralyzed and irrelevant.
And while the diplomacy being given a chance to bring peace in Syria continues, the situation in the country is extremely grave. Food reserves are critically low in some embattled areas. That means many children are suffering from malnutrition or even starving to death. Our Demon has this report, and we want some of the images about to be shown are extremely disturbing.
Power is out, as it often is, given the scarcity of fuel at the field clinic, once a kindergarten. Dr. Abu Samir checks on his young patient, not wounded in any attack, but his life is still at risk. We have a lot of cases of malnutrition. It has gotten to the stage of bone fracture, he explains. You can see that clearly in the rib cage and the lack of lymphatic tissue. Last week, when we spoke to Dr. Abu Samir over Skype, 4 children had already died because there was no food or medicine for their vulnerable bodies. Since then, the situation is even worse. More are in danger, and all the doctor can do is take notes. We don't have the medicine, we don't have the serum we need, he laments. And he lists the various ailments: anemia, diarrhea, infected livers, gastrointestinitis, all associated with a lack of vital nutrients. In other words, a lack of food. This is Mu'addamiyat al-Sham to the southwest of Damascus, under siege now for nearly a year. There is a regularity to the violence. It's always present. Normal has redefined itself. Fear is a part of people's routine emotions. These kids insist they are no longer scared. But it's not just the bombs and the bullets that threaten lives. Food reserves and livestock are mostly depleted. Some families have tried growing gardens, but all that they planted in this one is mint and the leafy vegetable purslane. They don't have seeds for anything else. None of the kids here remember the last time they ate bread. Ahmed is craving watermelon and bananas. 6-year-old Abude says he wants to eat everything. The ICRC's requests for access here and to other areas under similar siege have repeatedly been denied. Aid agencies have said that any international deal in Syria must include humanitarian relief in these areas. Back at the clinic, 5-year-old Ramin's father tries to console her. Don't be afraid, my beloved. Don't be afraid, he tells her. As global leaders debate, this is reality inside Syria, and the plea is desperate. Please listen. Please feel our pain. We're running out of time. Arwa Damon, Siena, Beirut.
Now we turn to the massive flooding in the U.S. state of Colorado. Rescue crews are trying to reach areas cut off by raging flood waters. Hundreds of people are unaccounted for, and up to 1,000 others are stranded and waiting for help to get out by helicopters.
Look back here at the St. Vrain River, you get a good idea of what that has done to this area. Basically, it sent rivers, it sent streams rushing again. It's cut off more communities, potentially leaving more people stranded, trapped, unable to get to the other side. So what we saw yesterday, the rescue effort with helicopters and on the ground, that was temporarily halted, waiting until the weather passed. We do expect that rescue operation to resume. And unfortunately, we understand that the death toll has risen now to 6. So what we've seen over the weekend and for really the past several days has been a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time, and it's caused a great deal of problems out here.
At least 4 counties in Colorado qualify for disaster relief, and they'll get that help today as FEMA moves into the hardest hit areas. The flooding so widespread, officials haven't begun to estimate the full extent of the damage. Over the weekend, President Obama declaring a major disaster in the state, while the state's governor touring the devastation, his helicopter rescuing 7 people along the way.
We're going to rebuild better than it was before.
But Mother Nature isn't helping rescue efforts. Clouds and heavy rain grounded air rescue missions Sunday. More than 1,000 people have yet to be evacuated. And with roads and bridges crumbling under the deluge, for some, rescue by air is the only way out.
I think what we have going on here in the last 24 hours is the greatest number of Americans rescued by helicopter since Hurricane Katrina.
Entire neighborhoods like this one in Jamestown isolated. Cities like Aurora already plagued.
And before we end this edition of the news, a reminder of our headlines. Mourners from across the political divide and senior Jammeh administration officials have been paying glowing tribute to former Vice President Hassan Musa Camara, who died on Sunday, aged 90. Diplomats representing 4 permanent members of the Security Council are meeting in Paris